Hoping for a brighter future, more than 150,000 Indians have gone to work on international ships. But such dreams of good fortune have drifted into nightmares for thousands of seafarers, as this officer knows only too well. In September 2010, while working aboard their cargo ship off the Tanzanian coast, George and his 14 Indian crewmates were hijacked. This is the first television interview he's given about their ordeal.
So this firing sound came, pirates attack. They are firing to the glass, bridge glass. That's the breaking sound, big sound was there. Then I saw that the people are coming with a gun. From outside this fiber boat, they are continue firing, pirates.
The crew were forced at gunpoint to anchor their ship off Haraderi, about 200 miles from Somalia's war-torn capital, Mogadishu. More than 40 Somali pirates attacked the asphalt venture, demanding millions of dollars from its owners as a ransom.
Then they tighten our hands with a rope like this from the back side, and a leg also with a rope. After that, they put on the deck. It was very hot, near about afternoon time. Then they started beating. One man with plastic rope, he beaten us. Then he told, cry. This crying sound we want to send to your company. So he telephoned to our company. You see, we are going to kill your crew. Listen, they are crying, that is their sound. Like that torturing was there. That is near about one and a half hour. Continue beating.
Their torturers knew that piracy pays. In 2010 alone, almost $240 million were handed over to Somali pirates as ransom money. In the last decade, pirates have kidnapped nearly 6,000 seafarers. Most of their victims are Asian, as the majority of seafarers now come from China and the Philippines, Indonesia and India. George's suffering also brought pain to his wife and 2 young children at home in Kerala.
That shocking news to our family, even now also shivering my body, that memory was really horrible. So many questions in front of me. I really scared, I really shocked. Even I couldn't do anything, I couldn't talk anything.
6 months of negotiations resulted in a ransom payment of $3.6 million, intended to secure the release of all 15 crew. But after releasing the ship and only 8 of the hostages, the pirates reneged on their deal. Demanding even more money, their objectives also became political. Posting this video online as a negotiation tactic, the gangsters refused to release George and the 6 remaining hostages until 120 Somali pirates were freed from Indian jails.
We are just mentally tense and our health is not good.
The hostages were kept dirty, hungry and thirsty, often falling sick.
Please help us, save our life. We want our release. Please help us, save us.
So many times they told, next we are going to kill you, next week like that. This time we will not fire, we will hang you. 2-3 times they took me. They told my other people, this George, we are going to kill George.
A world away from their families for months on end, India's sailors work in harsh and perilous conditions. George's family suffered financial hardship and long periods of silence, hearing nothing about his fate.
I cried a lot, alone, when after midnight, bathroom or upstairs. I never shows this in front of my children. She was writing letter to Papa in computer. When I opened computer, I saw that, Papa, are they beaten you? Are you getting food? Papa, I miss you, Papa. Yeah, of course, that period was really very pathetic and very terrible, horrible, what I can say. Everybody told me my husband will not come back. My son asked me, Mama, whether I can see my Papa. At least one time. How I can say yes. Sorry. So that was really very touching.
As 90% of international trade is carried on ships, seafarers like George are an essential part of the global economy. With a huge share in world trade, India's annual exports are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. At nearly 2,000 metres above sea level, here in the cool blue mountains of Tamil Nadu, the climate is just perfect for growing one of India's most refreshing exports, tea. Now, every year, well over 200 million kilograms are shipped from India's shores, making it one of the world's top tea exporters. Down here at sea level in the major port city of Kochi, for almost 700 years, traders have been busy making tasty deals and then relying on seafarers to supply their international buyers with India's hottest commodity, spices. Now shipping nearly 900,000 tonnes a year, India is the world's largest spice exporter. By exporting these products and, of course, a vast array of other commodities ranging from gems and textiles to fuel and machinery, last year India shipped more than $270 billion worth of goods around the globe. But despite their importance to international trade, seafarers are also exposed to some of the world's worst occupational hazards. As a merchant navy captain, Manoj was at sea for 18 years. Now working for the Sailors Society, a British charity, he is one of the few people in India dedicated to supporting mariners and their isolated families throughout the most stressful times.
The general public does not understand the hardship the seafarer undergoes. They don't know there is a man there on board the vessel who might be facing a problem back at home, and he is carrying the essential commodity fuel to this port. And if this ship is not coming here to this port, tomorrow his vehicle is not going to run. He's not aware of that.
After working over 80 hours a week with heavy machinery and hazardous loads, some mariners are just forgotten by unscrupulous bosses and left aboard badly aged ships without enough food or water supplies. Last year, nearly 100 Indian sailors were abandoned by their employers to languish on unseaworthy vessels off Dubai. Dozens of these seafarers have been stranded there for over 2 years. As well as failing to pay long overdue wages, the ship owners have even refused to fund their crew's repatriation.
So it's a tough life for seafarer, which the outside world does not know. The people, if they are living in a port city, when they go to the beach, they might find a ship in the anchorage. All that they see is the big, huge ship, or they could see something moving in the horizon. Or they say, oh, there's a ship. They only say, hey, there is a ship. They don't say, hey, look, there's a seafarer. Nobody says that because the people who move this huge object, they're invisible.
Manoj is concerned about the increasing isolation of seafarers due to heightened fears of terrorism. After months at sea and having delivered important cargo, many sailors are commonly denied shore leave.
After the Twin Tower blast in the US, there's a paranoia. There's, everywhere, they're scared. Oh, seafarer, he has come. They look at him as, as a criminal, so they don't give him pass. They want to know why should he, for what reason he should go out of the port, what he wants, what is the purpose of him going out. All that they need is a cargo which has come in. You're unwelcome. Earlier, we never had this sort of a problem. When I used to sail, we were almost free birds. If my ship is coming to my home port, I could just take 2 or 3 days off from the ship, go spend my time with the family. But today, it is impossible.
Still a cadet and on his very first voyage, 25-year-old Praveen Prabhakaran and his crewmates were sailing their cargo ship off the Kenyan coast in 2014 when Somali pirates hijacked their vessel. Praveen's father recalls the moment they sensed their son's plight.
Somalian കൊള്ളക്കാർ പിടിക്കുന്ന അന്ന് നൈറ്റിൽ അമ്മ ഒരു സൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് എന്താണെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചപ്പോഴാണ് പറയുന്നത് പ്രവീൺ ഏതോ അപകടത്തിൽപ്പെട്ടു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പിന്നെ അവിടെ നിന്ന് ഫോൺ വിളിയൊക്കെ വന്നപ്പോൾ അവൾ അറിഞ്ഞു. ഞാൻ അറിഞ്ഞപ്പം മുതലേ ഇങ്ങനെ അസുഖമായി. അമ്മ അന്നേരം അറിയുന്നില്ല, പിന്നീട് അറിയുന്നില്ല. എന്താണ് സംഭവിച്ചതെന്നറിയില്ല, എന്തോ സംഭവിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയും. അവനെന്തോ അപകടം ഉണ്ടായി.
Relieved when Praveen was surprisingly released by the pirates after only 4 days, his parents were again shocked to hear that their son had been imprisoned by Kenyan police.
എത്തി ഇത് അറസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അവർ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്ത് എല്ലാം പിടിച്ചെന്നറിഞ്ഞ ഉടനെ അവൻ ഫോൺ ചെയ്തു. ഇതുപോലെ പിന്നെ അപകടത്തിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് കരഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് പറയുമായിരുന്നു. അവൻ കരഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് പറയുമായിരുന്നു, ഇതിൽ മയക്കുമരുന്നാരെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ശരിയില്ല. അവർക്ക് 2 പേർക്കും അറിയില്ല. അന്നേരം ക്യാപ്റ്റൻ പറഞ്ഞെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇതിൻ്റെ ക്യാപ്റ്റൻ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്ന അവർ 2 പേർക്കും അറിയില്ലെന്ന് അവരുടെ മൊഴിയും കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അവർ കുട്ടികളാണ്, അവർക്ക് അറിയത്തില്ലെന്ന്, അവർ സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റാണ്, അവർക്ക് അറിയില്ലെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നത്.
Manoj helped Praveen's father by drafting letters and connecting him with politicians, journalists and Indian expatriates in Mombasa. But a proper hearing of his case was delayed time and again. Manoj provided moral support to help Praveen's parents cope with their emotional trauma.
ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് പറയുന്ന അവൻ്റെ മോൻ വന്നാൽ ഇതിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും മാറ്റം ഉണ്ടാകുമെന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. മാനെ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മാന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് കാത്തിരിക്കുകയാണ് ഞാൻ. ഇല്ല, ഇന്ന് തന്നെ അവൻ വരും എന്നും ഓരോ ദിവസവും അവന് വേണ്ടി കാത്തിരിക്കുക. ഇന്നിറങ്ങും നാളെ ഇറങ്ങുമെന്നുള്ള പ്രതീക്ഷയിലാണ്. ഓരോ ദിവസവും എണ്ണി കഴിയുകയാണ്. എന്നുവേണ്ടി ഞാൻ മാനസികമായി തളർന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവരെ ആരും നോക്കും, എൻ്റെ കുടുംബം തകർന്നു. അതിനുവേണ്ടി ഞാൻ ജീവിക്കുന്നു. ഇതിനുവേണ്ടി എൻ്റെ ഭാര്യയ്ക്കും മക്കൾക്കും വേണ്ടി ഞാനിങ്ങനെ കാത്തു കഴിയുകയാണ്. ഇന്ന് വരും നാളെ വരുമെന്നുള്ള ധൈര്യത്തിൽ അവനെ എത്താൻ വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എൻ്റെ ഭാര്യയുടെ അസുഖം മാറുമെന്നുള്ള വിശ്വാസത്തിൽ കഴിയും.
3 months after this interview, Praveen walked free after spending nearly 3.5 years in a Kenyan prison for a crime he did not commit. Sadly, the family's reunion in Kerala was to be short-lived. Praveen's mother had become so sick that with only a few weeks of her son's homecoming, she died. As well as providing moral support to George's family, Manoj introduced Mercy to Indian officials who could help negotiate her husband's release. But despite their efforts, George and his 6 crewmates were held as hostages for more than 4 years. To secure their eventual release in October 2014, yet more ransom money was paid, $2 million, according to Indian media reports. But George's family life will never be the same again. Due to the pirates' beatings, George is now deaf in one ear. He also suffers from memory loss and bouts of extreme anxiety.
It is, of course, changed my husband's character. Till now, becomes very short-tempered, no sentiments. Psychologically, it is really affected my husband. And smoking. Never use cigarette. It's really affect our family, children. Really very desperate about this habit. Because we should bother about her health, his health also. No? Doctor many times told him not continue smoking. Changed a lot. He's loving, but somewhere something lost. But thank God, at least he is along with us now, sir.
Despite his lengthy ordeal, George still plans to resume his career at sea. India's economy relies upon the courage of sailors like George and Praveen and upon the sacrifices made by their families. More than 1.6 million seafarers work on international ships. 7% of them are from India. Analysts believe that if India wants to become more competitive in global shipping, its political and business leaders will need to show greater appreciation and stronger support for the country's seafarers. For Assignment Asia, I'm Steve Lunt in Kochi, India.